What's good, y'all? This your boy Black G92. Now, for this evening, I'm going to do a reaction to this video titled The Evolution of WWE NXT or NXT from 2010 to 2019. Shout out to the person that gave me this video to react to. So I'm going to see what this compilation is looking like. Well, not compilation, more so see what this video is looking like in about 3, 2, 1. Let go.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And with NXT moving over to the USA Network, I thought it would be a nice idea to take a look at the evolution of NXT.
Now that looks like a classic moment right there. Hold up.
Another video, and with NXT moving over to the USA Network,
I don't know what the context of this is. Like a whole Royal Rumble, like some sort of classic night during that run, I guess. That's on like going based off the picture. It looks like an epic Royal Rumble right there.
Thought it would be a nice idea to take a look at the evolution of NXT from 2010 through 2019, and let's get right on the video.
So long ago,
with
2010.
2010. This was before Triple H took over NXT, and the show was really a reality show for superstars, and they would get voted to come back for the next week. It wasn't the greatest thing, and that's why it didn't last for more than 2 years, with 5 seasons within those 2 years. The first 3 seasons all happened in 2010. For the first season, that's when we saw Wade Barrett.
That was very brief. Like, only 2 seasons within 1 year. Talk about unsuccess. I ain't gonna say unsuccessful, but yeah, basically how you described it, sounded like it went off to a pretty rough start.
Tunga, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, Darren Young, Skip Sheffield, Daniel Bryan, and Michael Tarver. Wade Barrett would win this season, and the group of men even teamed up to create the faction known as Nexus, who were buried by John Cena.
Damn.
The next season, we
by
saw
John
Paul,
fucking Cena.
Michael McGillicuddy, Alex Riley, Husky Harris, Percy Watson,
Harris.
Lucky Cannon, Eli Cottonwood, and Titus O'Neil, and the winner of that season was Kaval. Clearly, Husky Harris was the much more successful person out of all those men.
Of course.
The final season of 2010 featured women,
ladies.
and the list of superstars included Caitlyn, Naomi, AJ,
Naomi,
Oksana, Maxine, and Jamie.
Okay.
Caitlyn would be victorious in this
dope
season.
lineup.
Now in 2011, we have season 4,
But man,
and
Naomi
in that season, there was Johnny Curtis, Brodus Clay, Derek Bateman, Byron Saxton, Connor O'Brien, and Jacob Novak. This is definitely an interesting group. Johnny Curtis
sounds
would
like
win
it,
and later become Fandango on the main roster, if you were wondering. Finally, the last season of this horrible reality show was season 5, which was called Redemption.
Damn,
so you
5
obviously
seasons
understand that
already.
that means past performers who were unable to win came back and tried winning. This means Derek Bateman, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, Connor O'Brien, Lucky Cannon, Byron Saxton, and Jacob Novak all came back to try to win, and they didn't really have an official winner, but Derek Bateman, Darren Young, and Titus O'Neil were never eliminated. It is so random, I don't even want to get into it. I want to get into the real NXT when Triple H took over, and that is the year of 2012. Triple H took over as the CEO of the brand and decided to actually utilize these talents rather than put them through stupid content. Therefore, he introduced the NXT title, and Seth Rollins would become the first ever champion in that brand. That championship reign would last from July until December, when he dropped it to Big E Langston. Overall, Big E would end the year of 2012 as the champion in NXT. Heading into 2013, Big E started a feud with Bo Dallas, which was the person who would win the title from Big E before jumping onto the main roster. This would happen in May, and Bo Dallas would go on to hold the championship for the entire year. Triple H was very high on Bo Dallas and wanted him to be a star on the main roster. However, Vince McMahon didn't see it that way, and R-Truth buried him on an episode of Raw. During this year, though, NXT would introduce the NXT Women's Championship, with Paige being the first person to hold that
I remember seeing her in a few,
she
like,
would be the
and
only
I think one of those
in this year.
like one of those like compilation, one of those like videos discussing like women's championships on this channel. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Finally, the tag team championships would also become a thing, and Adrian Neville and Oliver Gray would be the first tag team champions. That's a pretty random tag team, but I don't really know. The Wyatt family, Adrian Neville, and Corey Graves, as well as the Ascension, would all have reigns in this year too.
Damn.
NXT was doing a lot of experimenting around this time, so it was a bit messy. In the beginning of 2014, NXT would host their first official pay-per-view, which would then be called NXT Takeovers. This pay-per-view was called NXT Arrival, and it featured some great matches like Cesaro vs. Sami Zayn, Paige retaining her title against Emma, and Adrian Neville winning his first NXT Championship and NXT's first ladder match.
Hey, good for him.
The next NXT TakeOver that year was simply called NXT TakeOver, and this is when Natalya faced off against Charlotte for the vacant Women's Championship. Charlotte would win the match, and it would be the beginning of the Women's Evolution in NXT. In the main event, Adrian Neville retained his championship against Tyson Kidd. The next event was TakeOver Fatal 4-Way, which saw the beginning of Bayley's hunt for the Women's Championship. She was unable to defeat Charlotte for the title. Meanwhile, the main event continued to prove that Neville was a strong champion as he defeated Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, and Sami Zayn. The final event of 2014 was called TakeOver Revolution, and there was so much to this card. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor were both featured on this card. Charlotte defeated Sasha Banks to retain her title, and Sami Zayn finally won the NXT Championship, only for his best friend to turn on him.
Talk about betrayal.
But then he turned heel
and
destroyed
him
in the ring.
Oh, okay.
Now let's head over to 2015, and the first
events,
pay-per-view of 2015 was TakeOver Rival. In this event, we witnessed the 4 Horsewomen's Fatal 4-Way match where Sasha Banks would become champion. And Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn to become the champion in record time on the brand. Overall, it was a really good card and built some storylines for the future. The next pay-per-view was TakeOver Unstoppable.
That dude looks
Finn Balor defeated Tyler Breeze to become the #1 contender for the NXT title. Sasha Banks defeated Becky to become the champion in record time on the brand. Overall, it was a really good card and built some storylines for the future. The next pay-per-view was TakeOver Unstoppable. Finn Balor defeated Tyler Breeze to become the #1 contender.
Looks all intimidating on that cover.
Sasha Banks defeated Becky Lynch to retain her
It looks like Sasha Banks whooped her ass
and Kevin
right
Owens
there.
beat Sami Zayn in his rematch for the NXT Championship. The next pay-per-view after that was the first time they traveled outside of Full Sail University, and they went to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. This card featured Samoa Joe beating Baron Corbin, Bayley finally winning the Women's Championship, and Finn Balor defeating Kevin Owens to become the NXT Champion. For the next event, they went back to Full Sail to host TakeOver Respect. This was when they held the first ever Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic in honor of Dusty Rhodes, who passed away around this time. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe would win the match, only for Samoa Joe to turn on the champion, Finn Balor. Asuka made her debut defeating Emma, and as for the main event, Bayley defeated Sasha Banks in an Iron Woman match. The final pay-per-view of this year was TakeOver London, and Bayley and Finn Balor both successfully defended their titles against Nia Jax and Samoa Joe. Moving into the new year, the first pay-per-view of 2016 was called TakeOver Dallas, and that's where we saw Shinsuke Nakamura make his debut in the ring, when he had Sami Zayn's final match on NXT. Asuka also won the NXT title from Bayley, and Finn Balor would retain his championship again from Samoa Joe.
He must be in business right there, the one that painted.
And it was called TakeOver The End. And before this event, Samoa Joe did beat Finn Balor to become the NXT champion at a house show. And when they were at this event, they had a steel cage rematch where we saw Samoa Joe retain. Following that event, we had TakeOver Brooklyn 2, and fun fact, I was at that show. Bobby Roode made his debut. The Revival defeated DIY in one hell of a match. Asuka retained her championship, and Shinsuke Nakamura ended
I can see that. Asuka knows how to put.
Let's fast forward to the last event.
It's like Asuka has some moves.
That was TakeOver Toronto.
Way over in Drake's hometown.
Became the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners. DIY won the NXT titles from the Revival. Asuka defeated Mickie James in her return match.
Look at that kick. Ooh, yeah. Dang, Asuka must got some moves then. Look at that kick. No wonder she was kicking ass. I'm about to see some matches, see her in action.
The Authors of Pain became the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners.
And her name reminds me of the character of the same name off the Evangelion series.
Mickie James in her return match.
And
Samoa Joe shocked the world by winning his title. However, he did drop it to Shinsuke Nakamura at an NXT that was in Japan. Now it's the year of 2017, and the first TakeOver of that year took place during Royal Rumble weekend.
San Antonio. I've been out there several times.
This event wasn't too special, but it was main evented by Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura in the greatest
come out with them girls right there.
Bobby Roode would be victorious and defeat Nakamura to become champion, and this is when we enter the glorious era.
Yeah,
the next event was right before WrestleMania 33, and it was TakeOver Orlando. This would be the debut pay-per-view for Aleister Black, who defeated Andrade San Almas. The Authors of Pain put up a wonderful triple threat tag team match against DIY and The Revival. Asuka beat Ember Moon, and finally Bobby Roode beat Nakamura in what would be his final match before going to SmackDown Live. TakeOver Chicago was
he went out with a bang,
and it featured the first NXT UK title match between Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. NXT would actually build a brand in the UK a year after this.
Okay.
The main event of the card was the Authors of Pain versus DIY in a TLC match where Tommaso Ciampa would turn heel on his partner. However, that feud was sidelined because Tommaso Ciampa tore his ACL. On to the next TakeOver, and it was TakeOver
painful.
Brooklyn 3. This featured the first battle between Andrade and Johnny Gargano, where Andrade would win. Asuka defeated Ember Moon yet again, and Drew McIntyre beat Bobby Roode to become the NXT champion in the main event.
Yeah, that must be like crucial, having get beat up, like having lose a match to the same person twice. That's crazy. Like, so I feel for Amber. I feel kind of bad for Ember Moon. Like, just lose 2 different matches with the same person. That's crazy. That's tough.
And Adam Cole would make his debut after attacking Drew McIntyre. Finally, the last event of this year was War Games, and it would be the best decision to bring back this pay-per-view. Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream started and ended the feud in this pay-per-view in one of my favorite matches ever.
A dope-ass tattoo.
Asuka had to relinquish her title, and because of that, Ember Moon would win the vacant Women's Championship, and Andrade would defeat Drew McIntyre to win the NXT Championship.
Sound like Asuka's kicking ass.
Featured the Undisputed Era surviving War Games. The next year is 2018, and the first TakeOver event was at Philly the day before the Rumble, and fun fact, I was here as well.
Damn.
The highlights of this show was Aleister Black versus Adam Cole in a street fight where Aleister would be victorious. Then the main event was a treat, and my favorite match I ever saw live, Johnny Gargano versus Andrade San Almas. Surprisingly, Almas retained the championship. Tommaso Ciampa would make his return and hit his ex-partner in the back with a crutch after the match. The next event was TakeOver New Orleans before WrestleMania 34, and this could honestly be considered one of the best pay-per-views ever. NXT introduced a new title, which was the North American Championship, and it was the best ladder match of all time, where Adam Cole would become the first champion for that title in NXT. Shayna Baszler would win the Women's Championship. The Undisputed Era would win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic after Roderick Strong joined them. Aleister Black beat Andrade for the NXT Championship, and Johnny Gargano beat Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match. Literally, that was a perfect card, and I recommend you watch it.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Sounds awesome.
TakeOver Chicago 2, we saw a dream match between Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, and the main event was also Johnny Gargano battling Tommaso Ciampa in a street fight. On an episode of NXT before TakeOver Brooklyn 4, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Aleister Black for the NXT Championship, setting up a triple threat match with Johnny Gargano that everyone was excited for. However, an injury to Black made them create an entirely redundant storyline. Therefore, at Brooklyn TakeOver 4,
that dude has a look of fear in his eye like, oh shit.
Match with Johnny Gargano will be retained. This means the next pay-per-view was War Games 2, and this was also a great card. After finding out Johnny Gargano attacked Black, they fought at this pay-per-view. Velveteen Dream challenged Tommaso Ciampa, but was unsuccessful in winning. The main event saw Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and War Raiders defeating the Undisputed Era in a great hardcore match. 2018 had to be my personal favorite year of NXT. Now it's 2019, and to begin this year, NXT was in Phoenix for their first TakeOver in this year, and that was a pretty dope card. War Raiders became the tag team champions. Heel Johnny Gargano defeated Ricochet to become North American champ. Shayna Baszler retained her championship, and Tommaso Ciampa was still champ after Black was unable to win. In 2019, Ricochet and Aleister would win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Now let's jump to TakeOver New York.
Yeah, them two just winning all those matches.
I attended with Muscle Man Malcolm. So at this show, Ricochet and Black had their last match in NXT. Velveteen Dream beat Matt Riddle to retain his North American Championship. Walter beat Pete Dunne for the UK title. And Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole to become the NXT champion for the first time ever. He was supposed to beat Ciampa, but Ciampa needed neck surgery, so it was a vacant title. At TakeOver 25, which was the special 25th anniversary of NXT TakeOvers, nothing special really happened except Johnny Gargano losing his title to Adam Cole. Finally, the most recent pay-per-view at the time of this recording, TakeOver Toronto 2, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae tore the roof down, and Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole in a 3 Stages of Hell match was crazy. Adam Cole retained. And that's pretty much all the NXT takeovers and the history of NXT. The takeovers were pretty much everything and must-see about NXT, and the rest of the shows on a weekly basis weren't amazing. Hopefully, since it's on the USA Network, it will be a lot more must-see TV. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like.
Oh, yeah, I sure did. Very good little breakdown of how the WWE NXT started off in 2010 with you can definitely tell it started off very rough, based on how he described it, as far as the first 2 seasons, as well as going to the 5th season around 2011, then started picking up to 2012 when Triple H took over and started running it, and all these different wrestlers, male and female, just scoring, not scoring, but more so winning matches and making impressive feats as well, as far as winning the little championship ring and all that such. So yeah, I dig this, man. So I'm interested in seeing more of these, and it would be dope to see some of those highlight reels and actually not person, but more so going on at the moment per se in action. But hey, for what it is, it's pretty dope little dope little mini documentary about that's a program that's very popular, and based on this video, I think it's still going on 3 years later. I still think it's still going on. I'm gonna have to do some Googles. But yeah, if you want me to react to more of these wrestling mini documentaries or matches, yeah, especially the matches. Let me know any matches that were around that past decade or even say last 2 to 3 years. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you got any songs, music videos, interviews, countdowns, movie clips, movie, TV show, streaming series trailers, as well as analysis videos and interviews, as well as any videos related to all the current events going on in the world. Be sure to post them in the comment section below. And if this is your first time watching this reaction video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to follow me on my social media accounts, which should be posted in the description box below. And if you're able to, hit that donation link to my Cash App account, which will be posted in the description box below. So if you're able to, cool, to support the channel. If not, cool, let a friend know and everything else, and just spread the word about the channels, because the road to 1K subscribers is still up and running, ongoing, going strong, coming strong. So this your boy Black G92 about to sign off. Holla at your boy. Peace.